Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Some of the most meaningful jewelry you own isn't new. It's inherited. A ring from a grandmother, a necklace full of memories, but no longer your style. Duke's Jewelers reimagines family heirlooms into custom pieces you'll actually wear and love. Working one-on-one, Duke's designers honor the original story while creating something fresh and modern. Don't let meaningful jewelry sit unused. Let it live on beautifully. Visit Duke's Jewelers in Springville or online at dukesjewelers.com, where old stories become new treasures.
You're locked on to Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hey, Lloyd, you ready to feel old?
Yes.
We use this guy as an example of loyalty to a team and how you can change your opinion on somebody based on the uniform he's wearing. Bill Romanowski turned 60 years old today.
Oh, wow.
Bill Romanowski hitting the 6-0. That doesn't feel good at all.
I'm guessing by the stuff he was injecting in his body, I'm sure his body's like 80 years old. What a wild guy. And you're right. When he was with the Broncos, hated his guts, came to the Raiders, I was like, yes, that's my guy.
Same thing. When he was with the Broncos, hey, that's a gritty. That's a guy that lays it all on the line.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he goes to the Raiders. I'm like, he's a dirty, steroid-riddled SOB.
dirtbag.
Yep. It all comes down to shirts. All right, joining us now, the great David James, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. DJ, how are you?
I'm consistent. Romanowski was always a scumbag as far as I was concerned.
See,
that's not
Charger
true,
fans
DJ.
got no use for him wherever he is. Forget about it.
Whether it's a Niner, a Bronco, or a Raider, no dice.
Losers. But the Chargers moved, and now I don't hate them anymore. I actually feel bad for Raider fans. Stuck rooting for that train wreck? Good grief, man.
All right, so do you have any rooting interest now in the NFL, or you just enjoy the sport?
My fantasy football team, and whenever I'm talking to whatever friend, I'm into their team.
All right.
It's kind of weird. I've got a friend from college who's a huge Steeler fan. I've got family that is Niner fans. I'm all over the map.
So you can't appreciate the Justin Herbert run here at all?
I mean, I've already lived it. A talented quarterback surrounded by a mediocre team who can get to the playoffs just to get his butt kicked. Yeah, never heard that before. That story doesn't ring.
No.
Phillip Rivers, Dan Fouts. I mean, where do you want me to start? I mean, he's good. I mean, there's no doubt he's good. I think that, and we'll probably get into this with the Jazz. I think that it's true across Major League Baseball. It's true across the NFL and the NBA. You can get from bad. I always hate it when someone who's good, people say he's bad. Like we're sitting here talking about Romanowski. I mean, come on. Look how long that guy lasted in the NFL. Like he was the only one that may or may not have been using something.
Oh, yeah.
Please. No. That's ridiculous, right? You stay in the league that long, you are something special.
Yep.
And the bottom third of these leagues, terrible. The Raiders, horrific, right? We're seeing now in the NBA, the dregs of the NBA, my gosh. The bottom 5, 6, 7, 8 teams are just the Wizards are terrible. The Kings are terrible. The Jazz have to work at it, but if they work at it, they can make themselves bad, especially in the fourth quarter with the game on the line.
Yeah.
But then you just go to Major League Baseball. Well, the Rockies are horrific. The Athletics are terrible. So if you're good, I think you can fly through the bottom third of the league into the middle third pretty quickly and get to the top third, and then it gets really hard. Like you can be good. Herbert's good. Fouts was good. Rivers was good. But the difference between 10 and 5, 5 and 2, 2 and 1, those are all big jumps. It doesn't sound like it. It's not going from 22 to 18. That can be a breeze, right? But ask Josh Allen how hard it is to get to number one. That guy is fantastic. I will watch that guy play football all the time. He is great. But, man, is it a struggle to win the last game. Look at the Packers. I mean, they got it going, and then it all just falls apart the last month of the season. And they're sneaking in as a wild card and getting knocked out in the first round. So they're not in the final 8 teams. And they're team 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever you want, but good luck getting to 5 or 3 or 1.
You go from it's not too difficult to go from bad to good. It's really hard to go from good to great.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
All right. So I had Danny Ainge on yesterday, and I thought it was a really fascinating conversation because I asked him, the evaluation of guys like Cody Williams and Ace Bailey, and those guys had and I was listening to the interview when I was driving home, just kind of evaluating that conversation, trying to pull something out of it. And so I'm like, tomorrow I want to talk about that, the development of those two, because they've been great. Now, of course, neither one of them scored much last night, but regardless of last night, these guys are filling it up. So the question that I asked Danny Ainge was, somebody's got to score the points. So these guys are going to get some buckets. They're going to add to the point total. 22 shot attempts the other night from Cody Williams. There's no way on this green earth he gets 22 shot attempts next year if everybody's healthy. So are these guys on the trajectory that he wants to see from a development standpoint, or are they just hoisting up shots because nobody else can take them? And he's like, no, we've absolutely seen the development. Now, of course, he's going to say that. But from your perspective, DJ, are you seeing the development of, in particular, Ace Bailey throughout this course of the season?
100% there's development. I don't think there's any question he's a better player than he was when the season started. The difficult thing here, projecting forward, and I don't think anybody really knows, this is part of the trick about going from good to great, from going from the 12th best team in a 30-team league to the 8th or 5th or 3rd or 1st best team, is what he's being asked to do now isn't what he'll be asked to do next year. Now it's get in a game, play 30, 35 minutes, get 20 shots, and, what can you do? Next year it might be, well, you're only playing 12 or 18 minutes in a big game, and we need you to score 6 points and grab 5 boards and defend somebody. And can you do that? And that's a whole different thing than when you have rhythm and maybe you have a bad first quarter, but you kind of work your way into it. Hey, when they're a good team next year and they're playing a great team, they're going to have to be good for all 48 minutes. They can't afford to have guys go in and struggle for 6 or 8 minutes. And so we'll say it'll be easy to be outcome-oriented and on a bad night next year say, well, see, they didn't get that was fool's gold last year because there was no pressure and they weren't playing good teams. But they're going to be asked to do different things. You're right. I mean, they're going to have smaller roles if everybody's healthy. How are they not? Keontae's going to get double-digit shots. Markkanen's going to get double-digit shots. Jackson's going to get double-digit shots. And when I say double digits, it could be 10, but let's face it, some of those guys could be taking 15 or 20. But they can't all.
Yeah.
They're not all going to take 20.
Has your opinion on Cody Williams changed at all over the last month of the season?
He's made headway. Has he made enough? I don't know. The cool thing is he's on a rookie contract. So barring – I think there's a couple scenarios where he's not on the team next year. He's 100% in the league. I think everybody in the league should be intrigued with where he might go. He's not there yet, but he's better than he was. And the question is, what's his ceiling? How much better can he get? Will he plateau? At what point will he plateau? Somebody next year has to be guy 11, 12, 13, 14, and those people can't make very much money. So to be locked in on a rookie contract or to be one of the other inexpensive guys on the team, now the question is those guys don't play very often, so does it stunt their development? But everybody isn't going to play 82 games. Guys are going to play 65 or 70 games next year, best case scenario. So there are going to be nights where you're going to go from sitting on the bench to you're a backup. You're going to go from the 4th or 5th wing to the 2nd or 3rd wing and play bigger minutes. And it'll probably come in fits and starts. And how will he handle that, I don't know. But I've seen enough this year to know I would like to see next year how much better he is again. We always talk about guys blowing up year 3.
Yeah.
So I've seen enough from him in year 2. I want to see a year 3. But I do think this team needs to add 1 or 2 veterans who can handle the ball and play on the perimeter. I mean, in the old days, we'd say they need someone to swing between the 2 and the 3, and they need someone who's a point guard. And it's positionless basketball. It's a little iffy now. So, but a couple guys who are 6'4", who play on the perimeter, who've been in big games, have been in the playoffs before. You don't want to give the ball to kids at the end. You don't want to give the ball to freshmen, no matter how talented they are at the end of a big NCAA tournament game, because the Booster Twins were talented freshmen, and they both turned it over on the last 2 possessions. And when you look at how young they are, and you look at they've never played a game of this magnitude in their life. this stadium, they grew up watching the NCAA tournament. They want to go to the Final Four. This is the biggest thing ever, right? And it'll be the biggest thing ever in a playoff game next year for one of these Jazz games. Well, if you watch enough basketball, that's just setting a player up. Any one of 1,000 players. I just use the Boozers because it's a recent game and we all watched it because it was so big. But, you're going to put someone in that situation. Are they going to make the right pass and then make the big shot, or is it going to rattle out? You want someone who's been there before. So when the Jazz try to acquire those guys, depending on who they're acquiring, what team, what does that team need, and who do they like as they've scouted, as Jerry Sloan said 20 years ago, there's 29 other teams watching, who are they going to want? Are they going to want Collier? Are they going to want Cody Williams based on what they need and based on what they've seen and what they like and what they expect? So I think these guys are intriguing. I think they have value around the league. Some of them, and I don't have any idea which one, but one or two of them could easily end up going in a deal to bring in a veteran that I think the team's going to need next year.
You think Bryce Sensabaugh's shown enough value where he could be part of a piece as an asset to acquire one of those?
He'll be in the league. It depends on what everybody wants. I think that he is defensively challenged. Yeah. And I think when he's on a heater, he's unreal. How much of a stomach do you have?
Yeah.
And how good is your team? And you want to roll the dice on that. And I would think that a young team on the way up with a veteran who doesn't really fit their timeline should go after a player like Bryce. What will he be in another 2 years? How much better can he get? What's his ceiling, right? And you got time to figure that out. I can see where a team wants to win now and wants to be really good on the defensive end of the floor would think that's a pawn I can sacrifice in this big chess game. I'll move him somewhere else. I think he's done enough to stay in the league. I think he scores enough that guys like him are playing in the league 6, 8, 10 years. It's not surprising because, man, when that guy's hot, everything goes in.
Yeah. David James.
But he's not always hot. I mean, look at the season-long numbers.
Yeah, and the defense, obviously. I mean, he's a poor man's Jordan Clarkson. Maybe not the ability to get to the rim, but yeah. 97.5, the KSL Sports.
Even that's getting better.
Oh, yeah. No, it certainly is getting better. And that's the thing I like about Ace Bailey, too, is he's going to score points, but how is he getting those points? He's getting to the rim. He's getting to the free throw line. You're seeing that aspect of his game continue to develop, a little bit better of a three-point shooter. And, that's what I want to see. If when he has a stat line and it's, 5 of 17 and he's able to get to, 18 points, it's like, okay, really? But when it's, I'd say, 7 of 12 and he's 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 2 for 4 from the three-point line, I'm like, okay, those are all things you can work with, and you can certainly see where he's getting and becoming a more efficient scorer. I know you guys had some fun with this, the Gottlieb quote the other day about the Ryan Smith and the Jazz have been tampering with AJ Dybantsa. Everybody knows it. Well, is he essentially implying that Ryan Smith has been playing the long game, like making sure that he plays for Utah Prep, making sure he plays for BYU so that he can be a Utah guy that hopefully will be in Utah for a long time? When he says tampering, I mean, obviously everybody's tampering, or the word tampering, the Jazz are tanking, but you can't really tamper in terms of the NBA draft. What do you think he's referencing to that about?
Well, jealousy's everywhere, Scotty, so maybe he just means what he says.
Yeah.
Maybe he just thinks they're tampering, right? The pros, and Ainge has talked about this, Danny Ainge has talked about this in a press conference, because they have to draft these guys after 1 year of college ball, and because they're trying to gauge how much they improve, they are watching 17 and 18-year-olds. You can trade your draft pick 3 years out, so they're all trying to anticipate what does the draft look like 2 or 3 years out. So are they trying to build relationships and gather intelligence? Yes. I think this is a perfect storm that yields itself to more of the tampering talk, because some of these guys, they're good, but you're not sure how good. But Dybantsa's been off the charts forever.
Yes.
Forever being ninth grade. If you are Mr. Basketball in any state in the ninth grade, I mean, we haven't had a ninth grader in Utah be Mr. Basketball. Jeff Johnson was as a 10th grader, I think. He was certainly on the radar as a 10th grader. Maybe he didn't win it until his junior year. That might be a guy who, even Britton, who is an McDonald's All-American, was still growing into his size. He had a big growth spurt, and his coordination had to catch up as a 10th grader. So he was nothing special in the 10th grade. They're just – and the fact it was in Massachusetts and Ainge had such deep roots there, and the fact that the family certainly knows of Ainge, and he's a hero there because he won 2 titles as a player long before AJ was around. But, your coaches and your family can know about him. And then he built a 3rd title, and then he was building a 4th one. So there's certainly places, and the stuff I've read, and I don't know, I don't have encyclopedic knowledge on this, or I'm sure there's stuff I don't know. But the stuff I've read,
you're
Mr.
Encyclopedia. Come on.
Well, the stuff I've read says that Ainge met the Dybantsa family on the BYU campus the first time. Very carefully orchestrated. As far as it's so cleanly orchestrated, it lends a little credence to what Gottlieb says, even though he's way over the top. Because if you're at your alma mater and you run into somebody on campus, that's the old bump into rule. That's okay. Yeah. That's legit. And I'm sure Danny Ainge knew years before that Dybantsa was awesome and that he could have bumped into him somewhere else. Maybe he did. I don't have encyclopedic knowledge of whether they met. But the story I read was that the parents met Danny for the first time on a recruiting trip to BYU. AJ wasn't there. They were checking out the campus as parents before he saw it as a kid. And that he bumped into, I think it was Vanquish the Foe had this. I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But pretty sure it was Vanquish the Foe where I saw it. And I think AJ might have talked about it in one of his availabilities, but I'm murky on that. So was that just was that really a bump into, And I can see where Ryan Smith doesn't want to have his fingerprints all over something, but make sure other BYU boosters, hey, this guy would be good. And then he's around Utah and he feels better. And hey, if it works out, that's great. Some stuff really fell in their laps that he's from Massachusetts. If he's like Carlos Boozer and he's from Alaska, I don't know that they cross paths this way, right?
Yeah.
But Massachusetts lends a whole other angle to the story. But as far as the tampering, this is the thing where Gottlieb wasn't making any sense to me anyway. Maybe I just need to be hit upside the head. They're tampering, and if they have the number 1 pick, they'll pick him. Well, if you have the number 1 pick, you don't have to tamper. You just take whoever you like. I don't get what he's getting at there. Now, if they draft 2nd or 3rd, and if he ends up pulling Ace Bailey and telling Washington or Sacramento, whoever, that he's not coming there, or they'd better trade up, well, then Gottlieb's story has a lot more legs. If he pulls an Ace Bailey or a Kobe Bryant. Kobe fell all the way to 12, I think, before Charlotte swung the deal. But that stuff doesn't happen very often. I don't expect it. Now, if he goes somewhere terrible, this quote's not going away. So Gottlieb has got years to be right about this. Let's say the Jazz draft 4th, and they take whoever they take. And let's say Ace goes first. Well, if he goes to Sacramento and the Kings keep being the Kings, and they go through 3 coaches in the next 4 years, and he says, I don't want to sign an extension with you guys. Trade me. And trade me there. And then Gottlieb's going to be in the background going, it took a while, but see, I told you. That's one city. What if he goes to Washington? They've been a mess forever. What if they stay a mess? And he's like, well, what am I doing here? Okay, but what if he goes to Indiana, where they got a great player who's hurt, who presumably will be back next year, and they had a coach who's already won a championship? He might go somewhere else and be happy and have a great career, and I don't know what Gottlieb was babbling about,
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see how it plays out. Do I think they're playing the long game? Yes. I think they always play the long game because you don't want to trade a pick away 3 years before there's a great draft. And the Jazz didn't. They've got their pick. And Ainge is set up there, and we analyze those guys. I can't tell you about them because they're in high school, but we do our homework. We have to watch that stuff. Everybody does. Austin had a quote when I was talking to him on the day he was introduced, because he got introduced so close to the draft. And I said, the Celtics were drafting late. Now you got to draft early. How big a hurdle is that? And he goes, it isn't. We get access to these guys in a window at the combine or whatever, and we do our homework on everybody because everybody's going to be a free agent. You assume at some point everybody's going to be in a trade talk, and you have to already have done your homework and gathered the intel. So whoever these top 40, 50, 60, 70 guys are, we got to be all over everybody. We got to be ready. You never know. You never know. And so 3 years from now, I might need that info. So I'd already done the work in Boston. Now we're picking in a different place, but you got to do the homework. You got to talk to the people and watch everything.
I think that's why the Jazz, and it used to be very public, and we could go over and do media availability, but I think this is why the Jazz cast a wide net for their workouts. I mean, they'll bring in guys like, why is this guy coming in? Well, you never know. You want some film and a conversation you can look back on 3, 4, 5 years from now, or he's in the G League, and you're like, hey, remember when he came and was cooking from the outside? Let's give him a shot. Let's give him a 10-day, see what he can do.
So I think that the Jazz are playing the long game, and I think multiple people are doing it.
Yeah.
You're Mr. Aggie. You're the voice of the Aggies. You graduated from Utah State. You don't have that many NBA players to track, so I know you track them, especially when they come through town. And the Jazz broadcast, they know what they're doing. At the end of the Cleveland game, there's a shot on TV of Ryan Smith talking to Sam Merrill. Now, is he just being nice to the local guy because he's a nice guy and he feels the tie and they probably know some of the same people and bumped into each other? Or is he talking to him and building a relationship, and down the line, if there's a chance to bring him aboard as a free agent or whatever, he's had some conversations and warmed things up a little bit? I don't know. All of the above, probably, Scotty.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Probably all of the above.
For
right?
sure.
And I think it's the same thing with AJ Dybantsa. But it escaped no one that this dude's awesome. If you're Mr. Basketball as a freshman and you play for USA age group teams 3 summers in a row as a sophomore, junior, and senior, yeah. Yes, Captain Obvious, thank you. And you're from Massachusetts.
Huh.
And they have to do their homework 3 years out.
Yeah.
And Ainge wants his alma mater to win. Yeah. If anything, it just goes to show the old thing that no matter what rule any of these sports leagues come up with, college or pro, immediately try to find the loophole.
Oh,
and if the loophole is I can be at my alma mater and I can be on campus. So if I go to a school that plays big-time basketball, and I think big-time basketball is 20, 30, 40 schools that if they turn out a pro, you're not surprised. If I can help my school get that kid, and if somehow I can build a relationship and get him to one of my 30 clubs, I'm asking a question, why aren't 30 clubs doing this? Deploying the GM to their alma mater, the owner, wherever they're a booster. Indiana's got money. Now, I know Cuban's having a falling out with the Mavericks. He's clearly Indiana guy. But if he and the Mavericks make up, why wouldn't the Mavericks try to get somebody at the University of Indiana where Cuban is clearly a football booster? He's been talking about that. I mean, this is just one of those loopholes that's just there waiting to be exploited. And where it doesn't help you is if you're coaching in Wisconsin at Green Bay, like Doug Gottlieb, or at UC Santa Barbara or Northern Arizona, well, you're not. That's not where the NBA kids go. I mean, you get one occasionally, but you're not going to get the number one pick in the draft. Michael Okonde isn't walking through that door at Pacific anymore.
Great Candyman reference. Pacific,
Thank
hello.
You.
Hey, DJ, thank you, man. We appreciate it. And
anytime.
Let's talk again soon.
Okay, we'll do it, Scotty.
There he is, David James. Hear him every morning, 6 to 10, right here on The Zone. Mike Folta joins us next, play-by-play voice of the Utah Mammoth, right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did you have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
Breaking down the teams you're passionate about. This is Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Playing a little, we're going with the old Seattle mid-90s band. Mammoth. I'm okay. It's
so on Soundgarden.
Okay on Soundgarden. A lot of people love Soundgarden. I just, no. It's one of those bands that you listen to and you're like, I should be listening to more of them. And then you get knee deep in them, like, no, okay. That canteen is filled. I'm good. I'm good to go. All right, Mike Folta is going to join us. The reason we throw a little Seattle throwback is because it's the Mammoth and the Kraken coming up tonight. Huge game for the Mammoth, coming off that big victory against the Kings, 6-2, and now they've got Vancouver coming up. That's a game that, frankly, the Mammoth should win. So could the Mammoth realistically come away with 6 points on this 3-game road trip? Absolutely monstrous if they would. or could and would essentially cement, and I don't want to say cement them, but put them in a really good driver's seat for that top wild card spot going into the playoffs. Had a great chance to hang out with Mike Folta, Adrian Denny earlier today on Mammoth Daily, and we may have begged to get on there a little bit, and I'm not proud of that, but it happened, and I got my spot on Mammoth Daily. You can check that out. You follow Mike Folta on Twitter. You can follow Adrian Denny on Twitter. They tweet out links. I retweeted a link to it as well, so you can see me and two hockey guys. So between the three of us, we have a lot of hockey experience. Yeah, mostly Mike and Adrian. All right, but again, game tonight starts at 8 o'clock. Pregame show begins at 7, and you will hear this man's voice, hopefully calling a bunch of goals tonight for the Utah Mammoth as they square off against the Seattle Kraken. Mike Folta joining us. Mike, how you doing?
Hey, Scott, how's it going? Hey, we gotta start putting you on the Utah Mammoth radio payroll here because we're hearing from you left and right. We had you on Mammoth Daily. That episode dropped today. Now we're chatting again, so it's you're basically part of the team now.
Hey, I was with SEG once. I can be with SEG again. I'm more than happy to help out because there's so much excitement going on right now. And first off, yes, there was a little bit of begging involved, and I'm not proud of it. It wasn't one of my finer moments. But sometimes the squeaky wheel, you know, the old adage. So, yes, I made my debut on Mammoth Daily earlier today, and I can't thank you guys enough. It was fun to hang out. You guys do a great job. It's part of my daily routine to get the hockey fix. But, boy, do you have a big one tonight, Mammoth and Kraken. How fired up for you after that win against the Kings?
Yeah, it was a huge win for the Mammoth. And when you look at the context and the opponent, LA, a team that was trying to chase down Utah in the standings, and the way that the Mammoth just dismantled this LA team that's been to the playoffs 4 straight years. Head coach Andre Turney called it a blueprint game for the Mammoth, where they're taking, especially on the defensive side, they're taking a lot of the success from that game and trying to lay that out as the path forward for success over these last 8 games. And it's another game tonight in Seattle against the Kraken team that is a little further down the pecking order than LA is right now, but still they believe they have a chance to make the postseason. They are desperately trying to pick up points this time of year, as a lot of teams are. It's an extremely competitive Western Conference wildcard race. I don't think anybody thought it was going to be this competitive, but nobody has pulled away just yet. And I would say that includes the Mammoth. They're a couple points up on wild card 2 right now. So a win would go a long way as Utah tries to solidify that top wild card spot.
So I want to take you back to that LA game, and I know it's a while ago since they've been off for 4 days. But after the Mammoth were up 3-1 against Washington, and then obviously we saw Ovechkin go nuts, and that game got out of reach. When you're up 3-1 on the road against the Kings, sir, you look around like, we were here before just a couple nights ago. How impressed were you that they were able to close the door and not even allow LA to sniff an opportunity to get back in that game?
Well, I think it's part of it. I think that's part of the story of this team too, is being able to make adjustments and to kind of grow up within the span of just a couple games. And we've seen that from this group throughout the year. We talked to Logan Cooley a little bit about today at Morning Skate, and he was saying, look, there are times where we kind of stop attacking, and it's kind of the cliche, right? You get ahead and you start playing not to lose instead of playing to win. But you look this time of year, Scotty, like there's a famous saying in hockey: a 2-0 lead is the worst lead in hockey, and it couldn't be truer. Like, you're up by 2 goals, and you think that you're right in it, you think that you have things controlled, and then all of a sudden it bounces off of somebody's leg. Okay, it's a 1-goal game, and now you're clenching the stick, and now it's too late. The momentum's already rolling down the hill. So a 2-goal lead this time of year really doesn't mean as much as it does maybe some other times of year, just because everybody's playing with that desperation. We saw that, like you said, from the Capitals and Alex Ovechkin when they were at the Delta Center. And so it was really good to see Utah kind of mature within the span of 2 games and continue to attack. I think when this team is playing with that attack-first mentality, with the speed they have, they're a really tough matchup in the NHL.
So my goal before this trip was 5 points. You look at Vancouver, a game that obviously the Mammoth will be predicted to win. They are predicted to win tonight. They are odds-on favorites. Is it wrong to think that this team might pick up 6, or am I just jinxing the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, as fans, we do that, right?
Oh yeah.
You talk to the players, you talk to coaches. Like nobody is saying, "Well, we hope we get 5, we hope we get 6." I mean, you're talking the rest of the way, right? Like the amount of points we need to pick up the rest of the way.
No, I'm talking about this road trip. You got 2, and
okay.
2 tonight,
Yeah,
and then 2 against Vancouver.
I think you're selling out to get 2 points tonight, and you're not even thinking about the rest of it. And look, I was saying about 2-goal games. You can apply that to teams that are further down in the standings as well. Like Vancouver is leading the Gavin McKenna sweepstakes. He's projected to go first overall at the upcoming draft. They literally wrote an apology letter to their fan base this year, more or less. But even with that said, the Vancouver Canucks just beat the best team in the league last night. They beat the Colorado Avalanche 8-6. So this time of year, you get a bunch of weird results with teams that are out of the race beating teams that are playing for something real. We actually saw this with Andre Tourigny's group. He was talking to us about this a few years ago in Arizona. The last 2 games of the year, the Coyotes were at the very bottom of the league, and they weren't playing for anything, but they were playing against Dallas and against Nashville, 2 teams that were literally scrapping over each other to try and earn better playoff seeding. Like, these were very important games to Dallas and Nashville. Well, what happens the last 2 games of the year? Arizona wins both of those games, and they kind of screwed themselves out of a better draft pick. Now, it worked out because the Coyotes drafted 3rd overall. They took Logan Cooley, which you're absolutely fine with in that spot. They might have taken Cooley 1st overall if they got that pick. But all of that to say, you can't start circling wins this time of the year because it's gotten teams knocked out of playoffs before.
Yeah, it's a good point. When you look at this Kraken team, they've had some struggles as of late. They did get the win against Tampa, but what have you seen out of this team, and what's got you concerned that the Kraken can do that has you a little bit, I don't want to say nervous, but is on your radar going into this game tonight?
Yeah, they're not the flashiest team. They're one of only 4 teams in the league that has 1 or fewer 20-goal scorer on their team. So they don't, and for a long time they haven't, had that kind of superstar talent. So they don't have a lot of guys that jump off the page at you. But what they do have are really active defensemen in Brandon Montour and Vince Dunn. Those guys create a lot of offense from the blue line and make it really difficult to track in the defensive zone sometimes. So I think that's the biggest concern. When the Kraken are playing well, they're getting a lot of offense from those guys, and they're getting good goaltending as well from Philip Grubauer and Joey Decord. We think we're going to see Joey Decord tonight for the Kraken. Both of those guys have kind of traded the net back and forth over the last couple of years. But it's a team that's struggled recently. They've won just one of their last 7. They've been the second worst team in the NHL since the Olympic break, the Kraken. Their scoring has dried up a little bit, even more than what it was, which was already not good to begin with. So, like you said, it's a game the Mammoth are supposed to win on paper, but gosh, you can just throw that all out the door when you drop the puck. 2 of Utah's worst games last year were in this building. Now, that's last year. It's a different story. Mammoth have already beat Seattle twice this year. But for me, as someone who had to call those games, Scotty, you remember the games that hurt to broadcast. I'm sure you've had a couple of them.
Oh, yeah.
Those hurt at Climate Pledge Arena last year when the Mammoth were supposed to win and didn't turn in a very good performance.
Didn't quite get it done. Hey, what's going on in Vegas? You fire a coach at that point. Is that just a real cutthroat organization, or what's the story there?
Yes, it's probably the most cutthroat organization in, I would venture to say, North American sports.
Wow. Right
now. I mean, they chased, they've chased guys out of town. They haven't given guys contracts. Like they've been ruthless, and it's been that way for really ever since they got to Vegas. And part of it has kept them it's kept them in the fight year in and year out. They've always been competitive since they entered the league in 2017. But they absolutely have that reputation for being ruthless. So they fired Bruce Cassidy, the coach that got them a Stanley Cup in 2023. They fired him with 8 games left in the regular season, and they brought in John Tortorella, a guy who's known as being a hard-nosed guy, a no-nonsense coach, which is kind of what Bruce Cassidy is. But it'll be interesting as they kind of switch things up and try and make a run here. Now, there is some history to this. There's some precedents in the NHL for firing a coach, even if you're in a playoff spot with so few games left in the regular season. The famous, or the infamous, depending who you ask, Lou Lamoriello of the New Jersey Devils, he fired their head coach, and they brought in another guy back in the year 2000. They fired that coach with 8 games left in the regular season, brought in a new guy. That new guy, Larry Robinson, led him to a Stanley Cup championship. John Madden, current assistant coach of the Utah Mammoth, was on that team. But it's happened before. Golden Knights are hoping it happens here. The weird thing, Scott, is that the Golden Knights have had some of the worst goaltending and the worst shooting percentage in the NHL. Now, a lot of that is not on the head coach.
Yeah.
Like, the head coach can only scheme up so much. Imagine in football, you're a coach, and you draw up the perfect play, and the guy keeps dropping it in the end zone. Like, at what point is it not on the coach, but on the players or on somebody else? But they're trying to create a spark, and it'll be really interesting to see what happens, because Vegas is a potential playoff matchup for the Mammoth.
I know the NBA and NHL in terms of cities overlap quite a bit, but do you give me your hierarchy of cities as a broadcaster now that you're almost through year number 2 here with the Mammoth? In no particular order, the 3 or 4 cities that you're like, all right, I'm circling that one when the schedule comes out because I'm fired up to be there.
Well, for David Locke's sake, I really hope that Montreal gets an NBA team, because that's an incredible cosmopolitan city, very unique. It is very French, but it's not just French. It's all the world comes together on a little Canadian island. It's really special. And they love their hockey there, too. The games are always electric. That's great. I mean, New York City is pretty awesome. We always are there for a few days, so you kind of get to explore a little bit. I'm a Midwesterner at heart. Chicago is always going to hold a special place. I love country music. Nashville is up there for that reason. And I've really enjoyed the last afternoon I've had in Seattle. Scotty, I am now an owner of some fine art. I stopped by some local galleries next to, Pike's Marketplace?
Oh, yeah.
The famous fish market here in Seattle. Yes. I've got a nice painting of a bull moose here. I've got what looks like a watercolor of a tugboat, and I found myself I love maps. Pretty dorky, but I love maps. I got myself a map at Metzger's Maps. Shout out to fine folks at Metzger. So I'm enjoying the Pacific Northwest. I'm coast to coast, baby.
Dude, I've been to that map place a couple of times, and I love it. Is that the one where you walk down the stairs, and or was it on the top level? There's one where you walk in that back area next to the marketplace, and you walk down the stairs, and there's a lot of really these cool old shops. There was a map place down there. Maybe they've moved up to a different spot, but that's where I've always, had I had room, I would have bought a bunch of maps at that place. It's cool.
Well, okay. I didn't go downstairs to that map place. Now I kind of want to go back.
Now you got to go back.
I had to get on this call. So the map might fit. Let's see. I'm going to measure it right now. Oh, it's too big for the suitcase. All right, it's going to be sticking out of my backpack in a rolled setup. It's going to be a little embarrassing on the plane.
That's
but
all right.
It's a heck of a map, so I'm excited.
Nice. Well done. All right, man. I will talk to you soon. Mike, you're the best. Thanks for hanging out with us. And go get that win tonight. Wrap things up in Vancouver, and let's get this team back to Delta Center on a heater.
Thanks, Scotty. Touched up.
You got it. Mike Folta, radio play-by-play voice of the Utah Mammoth. All right, we'll take a break. Wrap this show up next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm going to give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car's gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
Believe it or not, this guy actually has friends.
Nice.
This is Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up another edition of the show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. JJ and Alex coming up next. Sly hanging out, or are we getting the band back together again? Sly the rest of the week. Woo-hoo. All right, things are about to look. We had Sly on the air yesterday for a couple segments, and we were all better off because of it.
I have him sending me Kirk Cousins' Instagram stuff right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yes.
Is he a Raider?
No.
Okay.
No, Sly is not, even though he's Vegas born.
Yeah.
No, I think he doesn't like the Raiders at all, in fact.
Well, good.
He's a Steeler.
Because he's a smart man.
Nah, I think that part of him is the questionable part, but other than that, he's a good man.
I can't believe that you are, like, riding this moral high ground that, like, oh, look, we have nothing but just wonderful human beings anchoring our quarterback room.
Absolutely. Scotty, I don't know how you can argue otherwise.
How long until Max Crosby has Mendoza in a full body tattoo?
Oh, I actually hear Max is actually getting tattoos removed.
Well, I mean, there's no other.
Kirk Cousins is turning him around.
There's no more room to put them on Max.
That team is such good people on that team.
Oh, geez.
I'm so excited about it. Upstanding people, like people that.
Oh yeah. Look,
you know what? Kirk Cousins not going to let Henry Ruggs come in here. Not up in here. Nope. Not welcome.
No, sir. We're going to weed out those bad apples.
Absolutely. I love it. That's where it all starts.
I give it until week 4 until there's some weird quarterback controversy. There's some big issue. And there's a report.
Even if you keep saying it, trying to speak it into existence, doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Look. I don't disagree.
Mark my words. This is the turning point for the organization.
I don't disagree. These are two wonderful human beings. But sometimes you put good human – it's like sports radio. All of us were actually good human beings before we started working in this industry. It's the industry that ruined us. So you take two genuinely good people.
Speak for yourself.
And you put them in the Raider organization, the culture will just blacken their soul. And it just, that's what happens.
Does their light beam through the organization and bring everybody up to them? I think I take the latter.
Well, I hope so for your sake.
It will.
Kirk Cousins.
The beacon.
Kirk Cousins joins Justin Herbert, Bo Nix. Is his knee going to be all right?
Who?
Kansas City, Mahomes. Do you even care?
I don't even care.
I don't either.
No. I could care less if his knee fell off.
Oh, jeez. I'm just trying to think. Week 1 starters in the AFC West. Let's just assume Mahomes is good to go, which I'm sure he will be. Bo Nix, Mahomes, Herbert, and Kirk Cousins.
You know what?
One of these is not like the other.
Does not. AFC West is going to be interesting.
It will be.
It will be interesting. I'm not saying the Raiders are going to go to the playoffs, but it'll be much improved.
All right. Hey, we're just about a month away from probably 3-4 weeks away from the draft.
It's less than that.
That's coming up.
I think it's on the 23rd.
Let's go.
So when that week, by the way, that we said there's a lot of things.
Is that in that week, too?
I think it's that week. It is that Thursday.
That week is nuts.
You could have a playoff game for the Mammoth on that Thursday.
On the NFL draft night.
On the NFL draft night.
And Messi's in town.
On a Wednesday.
Jeez.
If he plays.
He'll play. He'll play.
Oh, I have no doubt about it. Hey, the camera.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's going to play.
You're going
to want to get out there.
Now, that's one you want to speak into existence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Keep saying he's going to play because he is going to play.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. JJ and Sly next right here on The Zone.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did she have to fight a dragon?
Nope, she bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you might not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.